April 20th, 2009. This is Diehard Gamer Radio, show 67.
You are approaching the target of attack. Your mission starts now. Are you ready? The countdown begins. 3, 2, 1, go.
You are listening to Diehard Gamer Radio, the source for off-mainstream video game news and topics. And now, your hosts, Murdock, Brian, John, and Steve.
Just a couple more shots.
Yes, it is. So, welcome back to Diehard Gamer Radio. I have four of the most interesting men in Colorado here.
Stay gamers, my friends.
Stay gameless?
Gamers.
Stay gamers, my friend.
Stay gamers, my friends.
All we need are beards.
Well, some of us do.
You don't really have a beard. You have a Van Dyke. That's not.
Well,
really
I cut the
same.
rest of it off. It was, it's getting hot. You can only go grizzly for so long.
Yeah, don't tell that to
This
Kennedy.
is like the compromise.
Kennedy will stay grizzly until you tie him down and scrape it off his face with a lawnmower.
He's the last guy that should be wearing a beard from where he works.
Yeah.
That's
What
the
if-
last thing I would want. In
That's
my
what
face.
filters all that water, that poo water.
Yes. They just stick his head in the intake valve and it filters for all of Parker.
Yeah.
That would
Yeah, if I
explain
was
its strange
him,
coloring.
They'd definitely be shaving all hair off.
Yeah.
And probably bathing in Lysol.
Yeah. pretty
Yeah,
much.
he's like. I see him and I think about where he works, and it's like, what was that planet for aliens? Ulani.
What?
The prison planet in Aliens 3.
Oh, I
Like
don't remember.
Ulani or Ulani, something like that. But all the prisoners are bald and totally shaved all the time. 'Cause yeah.
There
maybe
was
you
no
wa-
Aliens 3.
Yeah, okay. That shitty wannabe Aliens movie that came after 2.
Oh, you mean Alien Resurrection?
No, it wasn't a
I
resurrection.
thought maybe you meant the prison colony of Rulo Pente.
Rula Pente.
Anyway.
Oh, man.
All right. So with me is Brian, Steve, and John.
Brian's the one with the beard, by the way, in case
Yeah.
anybody was keeping score.
Yeah, you can totally hear the beard through
Yeah,
the
yeah.
microphone.
It's going to be a quiz later.
Just kind of.
You know, we have to use those microphones again.
This one's mine.
It is now.
Anybody else uses it gets stuck with a hard whisker. I actually did that at work yesterday. I was scratching my beard, and I stuck myself with my own whisker. And I was like, son of a...
I hate that.
What?
Yeah,
I
it
hate
stuck
that.
into my finger. I wouldn't show my boss. I'm like,
I always know when it's
my hair's pretty thick.
time to shave because I'll start like poking myself with like a hair.
Yeah,
or
you can actually
something.
poke yourself.
I'm like, ah.
We have dangerous beards.
Yeah.
It's only between week 1 and 2. After 2, it softens up, and then... you're
Well,
good to
yeah,
go,
but then there's like birds nesting in your beard. It's just no good. It's like Mutual of Omaha on your face.
On
Like,
the
That's
plus
a-
side, before
reach-
you know it, you'll be a Unix admin.
Well, that's true.
Well, the nice thing is you can reach in and find leftovers from days past.
Ah.
Damn, I knew I dropped a piece of spaghetti.
Well, it's not. It's as long as it's not like, oh, here's a T-bone steak that's in my beard.
That Mutual Omaha joke, by the way, was brought to you by the Mutual of Omaha and by people older than 30.
People older than 60, actually.
We're pretty
No,
fucking old if we remember
I
that.
remember Mutual of Omaha watching it, and I'm only 33.
Yeah, but it was brought to you by people that were older than 60.
Oh, at the time. Yeah. Well, people destined to be eaten by lions, but yeah.
Why do you think it was sponsored by an insurance company?
Well, yeah.
Only
So-
because those old people couldn't run fast enough.
So really, the whole show was just one long build-up to justify why you need to pay for your life insurance
Pretty
for
much.
30 years.
Pretty much.
One hell of an ad.
While Dave struggled with the lion, I was safe in the chopper, and you can be safe in the chopper too with Mutual of Omaha.
Okay, you did that joke last podcast.
I know, but it's just so great.
And then came Smuckers.
Yeah, schmuckers.
They should
All
come
right.
out with a Mutual of Omaha game for like Xbox or something.
So you just
You run to the chopper as fast as you can.
We could have
think
it
it's called
sponsored by every
Shoplifter.
major insurance company out there.
Yeah.
So anyway,
AIG, you run to the bailout as fast as you can.
Ugh.
oh man.
All right, let's get.
What's about Willie Wright?
Yeah. So our first news bit is Will Wright leaves Maxis and starts his own company called
Free
Stupid-
Willie.
No, it's
oh,
called
sorry.
Stupid Fun Club. I'm not making that up.
Yeah, it's
Stupid Fun Club, which I believe was a PBS educational TV series, I believe.
No, that was one of the shows on UHF.
Oh, yeah. Oh yeah, that's right. That's right. Blinky's Stupid Fun Club.
Yep.
Who wants the fire hose?
Yep.
Oh, Jerry, I want the fire hose, Jerry.
So, do you care about Will Wright? Anyone?
It sounds like EA is still publishing his stuff.
Well,
I think it was a
I'm not
mutual
sure
agreement
what
or
the difference
understanding.
is really going to be out of this one.
I don't know.
He probably
gotta be-
just gets a few more rights, but he still uses them as a publisher in the end, so
It's
they
like
still
an-
benefit.
Accounting thing or something.
What's a bigger title?
Whatever.
yeah. So next up, and this is nothing new, at least for Steve and myself, or Steve and I. That's really bad grammar.
Oh yeah, the grammar police are gonna write into Diehard Gamer Radio complaining about your.
My lack of grammar.
Go back to college, you freak.
I don't know if it got more people listening, we could make more grammar mistakes.
Okay.
Yeah, whatever it takes.
Whatever it takes.
This podcast brought to you in Spanish.
Damn, now I'm gonna have to learn Spanish. Fuck.
Podcast by Univision.
Hey,
Univision.
Hey, we can get like some of those hot chicks that are on Univision. That,
But you'll have to just use your imagination because
not
it's an
Univision.
audio podcast.
what is it?
Univision.
Oh, Conquistando.
Yep.
And we won't bother with the actual Spanish. We'll just get bad accents.
Telemundo. And if,
Yeah,
any
they
game,
always-
if any game gets a 10, we'll go, go!
Yeah. We we just need the the hot Latina chicks with the giant boobs.
They'll have to dance in between topics.
Yeah.
Doesn't work well for a podcast though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not
So-
so much.
So GameStop selling games played by employees as new, and
Which has been happening since like 1992.
yeah, it was happening when it was EB.
Yeah.
Which explains why every game you buy there's already opened.
Well,
No, we just shrink wrapped them.
yeah. Well,
We got really good at taking off that little plastic, the little round plastic sticky tab that keeps shows that it's still.
Oh,
like-
this overseal that has
Yeah,
a
yeah.
label.
Yeah,
and
the
ice
security
code
seal.
on
you just
it,
get
yeah.
yourself a heat gun and they come right off.
Yeah.
So
well, it's the same heat gun you use for the shrink wrap anyway.
yeah, to re-shrink wrap it when you're done. So
Well, you guys actually took the time and trouble to do so. Apparently, they're not even doing that anymore.
well. Maybe
Well,
so.
I mean, they don't give you any display boxes, so you have to gut one of the games as a
Yep.
display box.
And they usually got, 6 or so for popular titles.
Yeah,
well,
they gut
if
more
it's
than
a popular
one.
title, sometimes the publisher will provide actual display boxes for the game.
I've only
But-
seen that for when they do, the coming soon stuff.
Yeah.
yeah, and they never look like real boxes anyway. They look
Or
like the
if
cheapest
it's like
boxes they
some
can make.
big title where they literally take the top shelf with nothing but these empty boxes for it.
Yeah.
But even that's rare.
yeah.
They see that for like Grand Theft Auto before it was coming out.
We always put those in a display thing that was on the outside.
Yeah, but I mean, when I worked at EB, I checked out games. I'm sure you did, right?
Well, I couldn't until the last 6 months because when I came into the store with the rest of the guys, the loss prevention ratio was too high.
Oh, the
And if-
shrinkage was too
Yep,
high.
if your shrinkage was too high, you couldn't check out games. So you had to get the shrinkage down, and they only pulled shrinkage once a year. And so I only got it for the last 6 months, but it didn't really matter because by that time I really didn't want to play anything we had anyway. So.
Yeah, that's when I got it, it was when I had it was right when the PlayStation 1 came out, so it's like, oh cool, I can try all these games. Man, Tomb Raider sucks. So that was my experience.
A lot of
Yeah, I
games
don't
that first
really-
year sucked.
They give you, I mean, back in the day, it didn't really matter too, and it still doesn't really matter so long as you're not, having to register anything or DRM things. It screws up the DRM stuff, but
Well, that's not a big case with like Xbox and stuff, but it's with the PC games.
well, yeah. But
I don't
who
know if
bu-
they're
who buys PC games anymore.
Well-
So, yeah.
well
World
when
of
I was at
Warcrafters.
EB, we couldn't Brent, we can borrow PC games anyway.
I think the only interesting
we
bit
could.
that came out of this is for people who weren't aware that they did this, which seriously, why else did people work for any of these stores?
Yeah.
I'm sure it was the pay.
Is that it might be false advertising. So
Cheaper than
you know,
GameFly.
quick, call your attorney general.
Well, I mean, it's not really. I mean, in the practical thing of it was always that the people will look at us and go, "But it's open." I'm like going, "Yeah, but you get the same warranty, so what does it matter?" And they go, "I see your point."
The same wonderful warranty of
The EB warranty used to be really good.
EB was
Oh,
cool back in
well,
the day, yeah. You
yeah,
could bring in
EB
tons
didn't
of
suck
shit.
So bad.
You went through like 2 or 3 PlayStations there, didn't you?
Yeah,
Under
back
that
when you
same
could actually
warranty?
return an open game for something other than the same open game.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
what had happened at my EB was that our supervisor at the time went ahead and just sold. He's like, "Well, your PlayStation's broken." Those are the 1001 models, the ones that would overheat and break and whatever. He would sell you the ESA, the extended service warranty, and
It was
just
like
give
$25 too.
yeah, and they just give you a new PlayStation out of the back because you weren't making any profit off the hardware anyway.
Well, yeah,
you just
well,
trade it out and get
you
an
did
ESA
later,
out
but
of it.
In fact, you did that for me when one of mine broke.
Yeah.
My first
Yeah.
one broke. You're like, just come in, buy the warranty, we'll replace it. I'm like,
well,
really?
I mean, it
Fucking
worked.
A.
It worked great for
25 bucks
everybody.
for a new system?
You buy the $25 for the new system, and the employee that gives you the ESA gets like $10 of that $25.
Yeah,
he
makes
so
a
everybody
wicked
was all
commission, yeah.
about it. So, I mean, it worked out for everybody, is what it was.
Well, except for corporate, but you
Well, they
didn't
were only
like
going to get
corporate,
$15
so-
anyway. So.
And they weren't getting any money off the off the hardware anyway. They just
Yeah, they weren't making any profit off of the hardware at the
10
time,
for
so they were
me,
actually
15 for you.
$15 up without having to get rid of any hardware. You know what I mean?
So, as interesting as retail talk is,
Yeah.
the good
All
old
right.
days.
So anyway,
for the next episode, I'll tell you how hard it was for us to restock Game Fan magazine. That's always an
I
interesting
didn't know
story.
anybody that bought Game Fan magazine.
We knew
Shit,
someone that
we-
had a subscription for it and didn't get it like
he was a
for 5
lifelong member, wasn't he?
Yeah, he had like a 5-year subscription, never got an issue. I always had to give him a free issue from our overstock for
Oh,
Game Fan.
man. That was a running gag for many a year.
That's funny shit.
How's that subscription coming? I don't know. It's been 2 years. Still haven't seen a damn issue.
But he's always gotten an issue from me. It's like, hey, can you hold me an issue, Murdock? I'm like, sure.
I didn't have an issue. I didn't have a problem ever from them. I always got my issues. I don't know what it was with that
You were
dude.
getting like you had a subscription for EGM without having a subscription for EGM. I would always give you like our excess stock.
Oh yeah. You know what's funny is I did a 5-year subscription 5 years ago, and it just ended, and they kept sending them to me anyways because their subscription was so low. I think they just had extra magazines at some point. They're like, "Fuck it, send it out to members that used to have them. Maybe they'll rejoin."
Well, we always got the 1 month behind. We would always have the demos.
Oh yeah.
For CGW and CGM and all those would have all the PC demos. So I always had the demos just a month later. And usually they gave the demos were usually the magazines about 6 months ahead of time. So like it mattered.
Hey, it was free.
And then we got Blender.
Yeah. That's kind of an oddball magazine.
It was. I tried it a couple times and I realized why we never sold one.
It just it didn't fit any one thing. It was trying to be too much.
It didn't. I mean, there was nothing in it. I mean, it's like, what am I watching here? I'm watching. This sucks.
So next up,
Move this podcast along, or we're
That's
just
what
gonna
I'm
keep
doing.
talking here.
Hey Chris, why don't you move it along?
all right.
Hey John wants you to move it along.
Would you? I'm trying to move it along.
I'm just trying to get it moved along.
Okay, all right. This is turning into a Seinfeld sketch.
It is
Would you
moving.
move it along?
Yeah.
Still
Human-
not moving.
All right.
Yeah.
Murdock. So key in quotation mark Nintendo property due later this year. I hope it's a sequel to Clue Clue Land.
But is this like when they assure you that you are in fact a key player in this company
No, this
right
is.
before they lay you off?
It is a key Nintendo property due later this year called Kid Icarus.
That's actually been rumored.
It will never happen.
Well,
I don't even think they remember they made that game.
they
I
made
bet
2
it's
Kid
going to be a
Icaruses.
mini game collection.
Well,
I bet you it'll have something to do with the Wii motion controller thing.
the Wii Motion Plus.
It'll be the
Yes.
Wii key.
The Wii.
Just saying. You knew it was there. You knew it was coming. You can't act like you're not surprised.
What do you think, Beard?
Beard, you're my only friend.
Someday I'll be just like Chuck Norris, and there'll be another fist under this beard.
Next, we'll see Kia property, and they'll be selling furniture from Nintendo.
No, they'll be selling cheap Korean cars.
No, it'll be your own Wiimote, but if it's like Kia, it'll come with like 2 parts missing.
No, it just comes in a very flat box.
Yeah. It'll be made out of wood.
Mm-hmm.
So next up, Assassin's Creed is apparently coming out in 2009 for the
Hell
holiday
yeah.
season. Gee, what a surprise! A popular franchise coming out around Christmas.
That one's gonna be the big boy too, probably.
I don't know.
Max
what
Payne
all-
3
Do
too
we know
may
what's
be up there.
coming out for this holiday season?
There hasn't
Any
been
idea
hardly
what are-
anything announced.
Like I said, maybe Max Payne 3.
Oh.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's a AAA title. I don't think so.
like,
Depends on who's making it.
It's like 2 A's.
Final
and a half.
Fantasy 13.
I don't know. Final Fantasy, pretty popular.
It is. It is a popular game.
I don't know. I think this Assassin's Creed 2 will be better if it slips past the Christmas release date.
No, don't you know? People only buy games during Christmas. I mean, come on. That's what all the publishers think. Must be true.
Well,
thought EA
except
already
that's
figured
what
that
they
out.
think. That's what they think up until Christmas. Then around February, they all start regretting it again.
Yeah, I thought EA
When there's a
already
drought.
had
Yeah.
their regrets about maybe we shouldn't release all of our titles within 2 weeks of
Oh,
each
they're
other.
going to do the same thing this year.
No, they're gonna
Come on.
spread it out over 4 weeks. this
Oh,
year.
well, that is
It
twice as
starts
much.
in December and ends in December.
That is twice as long.
They're learning.
But you can't go that far into December. I mean, you get more than like 2 weeks up on Christmas, and you've already missed, the shopping season.
All right, Black Friday.
Yeah.
What do you want?
They're release
That's a
7
much
games
better
on
plan.
Black
I'm
Friday.
telling you.
Yeah, like 4 weeks.
Low.
Hello?
Hey, somebody give me something to write on.
I think he's all out of bits.
I see like stuff coming up, but I don't see.
Well, do you hear us?
Let's try this.
Have we got a heartbeat?
Oh, now I can.
Have we got rhythm?
That's
Have we
weird.
got soul?
Say something.
Something.
Say something.
Something.
That's really weird.
I've
Well,
got
there was a
music.
little bit of a technical difficulty going on here, folks. But
Which will probably need to be
difficult no
edited.
longer.
no, we'll leave it in. It's raw and real.
Yeah, this is live footage.
It's weird.
It's
I
not
don't know.
live footage if we're recording it ahead of
Shut
time.
up.
I don't
Next,
even
we'll be
know.
doing Diehard Gamer Radio Unplugged.
The hell are we talking about again?
We're going to be using acoustic instruments to talk about video game news.
Huh. I don't really know what it was all about. Just give
Yeah,
me a
it's
little
gonna
thing that said
be,
that this was slow and then went along its way.
Did it even record or just went?
It recorded it, had like a big long brrrr, and then it kind of like,
Is that
shows
sound
the
going to be on
little
the podcast?
I don't know. We'll have to see.
Oh, that'd be
Depends
kind
on
of
if it
annoying.
sounds horrible or
It
not. I
flatlined
guess.
Yeah,
for a second
if
there,
it-
but we brought it back to life.
If it sounds really amusing, then it'll be on the podcast.
Oh, great! I'm gonna have to re-edit it after you edit it.
Go ahead, run this by
Good
the
luck with
amusing
that.
board.
Just have to replace it with fart sounds.
Yes, that WDGR. R, R.
Or you just add that sound effect that they have for the test pattern. Yeah.
Had this been a real
Where's the big-
emergency, we would have guided you to a real podcast.
Where's the big head of Geronimo?
Geronimo.
Yep.
All right, where were we?
I have no idea.
We were talking about Assassin's Creed 2, which will be very awesome as long as you don't have to get flags underwater.
Oh, you will. Now
Well,
that
you
you
can
need to
swim
swim.
now.
They're
Now that you
going
need to
to be like,
swim,
I hope
you're
you like
totally-
swimming, motherfucker.
I hope you like being wet, because that's what you're gonna be.
To Assassin's Credo.
Yep.
Well, actually, he's Italian, so it'd be Assassin's Guido.
Count.
That's only if he's a fat assassin. He'd be large and hard. He's gonna sink like a mother, you know.
No. When you're fat, you don't sink.
No, you float, because you're fat.
Just kind of
Well,
bobble on top.
Maybe
Yes.
he just needs more pasta.
Pasta floats.
Fat in that.
You
Yeah,
broke
moving
Ryan.
Not with meatballs, it doesn't.
Well, the meatballs certainly don't float. That's for sure.
We need to get this on MythBusters.
Yeah.
Does pasta float? Oh, let's find out. Let's spend an hour.
Does when I cook it.
Mm.
Not really sure what's.
All right. So next up,
Uh,
we
So what? News at 11. Microsoft hardware unreliable.
the E470 Xbox 360 errors are now being included in the Red Ring warranty.
Probably
I've
because
never
they-
seen one of those. I've never even heard of that error.
It's
Is it like a blue screen
came
error
up-
or something? It just
No,
pops up
it's
saying
like
that?
the new
No,
set
it's-
of patches basically, said, hey, we'll take one of the red ring errors and now we'll display an error code on the screen.
Oh.
Like, awesome.
the E47 error message is a general hardware failure problem. So take that as take that what you will.
Because that stands out so much more than seeing a red ring.
No, it's actually your screen will go black and it'll just say E47 error.
Oh.
That's got a longer message than that.
Well,
on
yeah,
it.
but I mean, I'm not gonna recite it for you. I mean,
Yeah. It's like almost a three
an
red ring
iambic
error. It's just,
pentameter.
well, we can actually display something on the screen.
Yeah.
Awesome.
It just should have done this 2 months ago when mine broke for the second time. The half red ring.
So now, what system have you gone through the most now? Because you've gone through what, 2 PlayStations, or is it 3 PlayStations?
I think I'm on my third original PlayStation.
And
But that was like 5 or 6 years running, though. I mean, that was.
yeah, but Xbox now is in the running for what, most replaced system now.
I'm on my second one of those. Luckily, because they repaired the first one twice, but I still.
Yeah, I
and
think
got
I
a
went
second
through
one
3
anyways.
PlayStations, 2 Saturns.
You went through a bunch of Dreamcast, didn't you?
Yeah, I went through like 3 Dreamcasts.
Yeah.
One of them because the actual port for the controllers died, so I had to get that whole thing
simple
replaced.
hardware problem. I'm still on my original PS2 though.
Yeah, so am I.
So some things are made to last.
I'm
Same
on
with
my-
Nintendo. The GameCube's lasted forever, and all those old
I've never
Nintendo
had an issue
things.
with the Nintendo
Well,
hardware.
I don't like the design of the original NES. The toaster crap that made no
Oh,
sense
yeah.
because that piece always broke in them. That was the thing that I saw give out more often than not. Was you'd slide it in and you push it down and it wouldn't always click
Just get
right.
the NES2 with the top loading model.
Well, we should have had that shit to start with.
Well, the technology wasn't available
That's-
then.
No, that's what they sold in Japan
The
was a top
technology for
loading.
direct connection.
That's the fucking Famicom in a T.
Yeah, the Famicom
It was a
the top
slot
loading.
down. You didn't have any toaster function. It was just slot in, slot out, slot in, slot out. The N64 did it.
Yeah.
Somebody went back and went, okay, wait a minute, this toaster thing's not working. Why don't we make it like it was
By the
supposed
way,
to
if you
be?"
want a cheap Famicom to NES adapter, find a used copy of Gyromite and open it up. The American version of Gyromite actually has a
yeah,
NES to Famicom adapter in it.
So handy cost saving measure from 20 years ago.
Yep.
Awesome.
Yes.
if you can find the game intact.
Shouldn't be that hard. I don't think there's too many
the-
Rob
the-
the
the
robots that are
handy-
floating around.
Famicom to NES adapter these days is load up your fucking emulator.
Well, yes.
On your PC, yeah.
Now.
That's a free adapter.
Okay. All right. So next up, and we don't really care about Radio Shack, but they're apparently wanting to bring in used games for
Because
some desperate
everybody
attempt
else
to be
is.
yeah,
Yeah.
in a
just
desperate
behind the
attempt to
par.
remain relevant.
How's Toys R Us feeling about that now? Are they doing it again or not doing it again? Or
I don't know. I know Best Buy is starting it up again.
What?
Amazon's even doing it now.
Well, we knew about Amazon. I hadn't heard about Best Buy.
Best
though.
Buy's they had done it the first time they did it. They only did it at certain stores, and it was their test market. And they decided to go ahead and do it full. So they're going to be doing it in stores.
So
again.
basically, they saw what GameStop is raking in and decided, hey, we
well,
want some
there's
of
nobody
this.
out there competing with them really. No big box, anyways. So you either go online or you go to GameStop. It pretty much narrows it down there. Or you go to your little homespun video store. But how many of those are around anymore? And what kind of selection do you get there? So
Yeah, Game Force Denver's gone. Game Force Aurora's gone.
they're little by little. We're only going to see our little real niche shops like Game Force Boulder and.
Shh, don't tell anyone about that.
Shut up.
I'm surprised Best Buy isn't sticking to the business plan of actually having the game you want to buy in stock. I mean, it seems pretty solid to me.
What the hell is that all about?
Yeah.
Where'd that come from? Because that's like business sense or something. We
We
don't.
don't do that here.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Our high school kids don't understand that shit.
So
Daniel's College of Business right there.
next up,
You just keep your ideas yourself, mister.
the Beatles Rock Band. Does anyone care about the Beatles and Rock Band?
Well, I'm sure.
I think it's
but-
going to be cool, actually. I'm looking forward
Well,
to it.
I know you told me that you were planning on purchasing it.
I will probably pick it up, yeah.
Steve, do you have any interest in that?
Not really, no.
I was kind of amazed when I was sitting down with a friend and totaling up what he'd spent on Rock Band, and he's into 4 digits now.
Wow.
It's impressive.
Wow, indeed.
I don't think they can come out with too
Talking about
much
Edie
Rock
Ash?
Band stuff. Yeah.
He's gone that far with just downloads?
Well,
Oh,
know,
he
he
bought
bought the
that
game.
drum
He
set,
bought the
didn't he?
Ion drum set. He bought Rock Band 2.
It was
He's
that
bought
drum
like
set,
400
man. That thing was
songs.
$350 right there.
Yeah.
That's dedication.
Yeah, but he has like a party at his house every week with Rock Band.
He bought the 360 to play Rock Band, you know?
Well, that was after we played it over at his old place, and we all brought Rock Band in the first time to play. He got hooked on it, so he went out and did the whole thing and bought it all. And
I think
Going for it in a big way.
Yeah.
he's really going towards the. I'm usually not of the, you could just play an instrument, party, school, camp of thought. But once you get into $1,000, suddenly you're like, wow, that's a lot of money to spend on one game.
Yeah, it is.
And that really makes me think maybe what you're really looking for is some way you could play as many games as you want with a single purchase, or as many songs as you wanted with a single purchase. How could we do that? There must be a technology available.
I don't know.
Just saying.
Just saying.
Wait,
Just
I
need
went
to
over there.
start a band and play every weekend.
We went over to
That's
his
what I'm
house one
saying.
night to play, and he had actually forgotten his drumsticks. And what does he do? He just goes into his kitchen drawer and pulls out a set of wooden spoons. So we're playing drums with wooden spoons.
Suppose that could work.
It was awkward, but
Did
it
you
worked.
flip them around though?
Hard as hell to use.
So you shouldn't
But
have flipped them around. You
You
just
can
used
only
the front
spin
end.
so much, but yeah. Wood is wood, but yeah, they're
Well, did you use the spoon end or did you use the handle?
yeah.
end?
We use a spoon end.
Yeah.
It's too
See,
hard to
maybe you
hold
under-
the spoon and smack with a stick. It's a lot easier the other way around.
You didn't have a pair of chopsticks or anything, huh?
I don't think you could hit hard enough with the chopstick.
Yeah, they don't think that's really gonna
I think,
register.
I think. Well, it might, but I think you go through a lot of chopsticks.
No, you
Yeah.
get like a bundle.
You
free
probably break 'em
chopsticks,
before
couple
you-
rubber bands. You should be set.
Oh, so you're making brushes essentially.
Well,
How many people have
guess.
that many chopsticks lying around?
I do.
How many other
Yeah.
people have that many chopsticks lying around?
I have a slot in my silverware drawer for chopsticks.
I would if my slots were long enough for chopsticks.
that sounds like a personal problem.
Giggity.
Maybe that new place you're moving into, they've got bigger drawers.
You can,
Giggity, giggity, giggity.
you can use the extra room just for chopsticks.
Giggity, giggity, goo.
Maybe you could
But
have
I
a
did just run into some Beatles trivia recently that I thought was fascinating.
Really?
That they're going to re-release the mono versions of the original
Okay.
albums.
Does Michael Jackson still own the rights to the Beatles catalog?
I hope not.
Because he did for a very long time.
Wow.
He probably sold it when he went bankrupt.
I don't know. I don't think you would do that though, because I mean that's pretty much
That's got to
Like,
be like keeping
yeah.
him afloat
yeah
if he owns
the
them
amount of
still.
money that residuals he gets from owning the rights to those recordings. You know,
Well,
That'd
he
be
must
kind
be
of
getting something
unfortunate
from
to know
Rock
that
Band.
buying Beatles recordings is helping out Michael Jackson.
did for a long time.
Crazy.
It's a good thing I never got into the Beatles.
Oh, and I heard that the mono mixes were the ones that they actually cared about. Because stereo, at the time they did them all, was like a newfangled technology. And when they just, like panned all the vocals to the right and all the instruments to the left, and they were done.
Huh?
So the band apparently wasn't even involved with a stereo mix. It's like they did the mono, went home.
Really?
That was what they were done. That's all they cared about.
That's interesting.
Huh.
So next up, a new Fallout announced, which I guess is awesome because
Still
of-
falling?
Fallout is awesome.
Well, yes.
Had
it's
totally
called
fallen out
Fallout-
in 3.
Fallout New Vegas, which apparently it's not a sequel to Fallout 3. It's just another Fallout game in the universe. So
Well, yeah, it's not like Fallout and Fallout 2 and Fallout 3 were really sequels of each other. I mean, Fallout 2 is kind of sort of a sequel because, you were in the same geographic location the first game was played in, just 100 years later. But it'd be kind of iffy to call any of them sequels, really.
They just take different time periods from each other,
All the same setting, all the
Yeah.
same theme.
just years later or years after.
But the really exciting thing about this is that they've got Obsidian Entertainment working on it. And one of the designers they have at Obsidian Entertainment is the guy who was working on the original Fallout 3 at Interplay,
Wow.
what's now known as Van Buren.
Little homage.
Well, the fact that they're setting it in Vegas, too, is also the same kind of area for where they were going to do the original Fallout 3 Van Buren stuff. That was supposed to take place here, well, around Denver and Boulder. But, Vegas, that's getting pretty close. And, Wasteland, that was all Vegas.
Denver and Boulder's already
Yeah.
kind of a wasteland already. I mean, come on.
Yeah. Wasteland did in Vegas.
It'd be kind of fascinating if they managed to take some of that Van Buren stuff and use it.
Well, okay.
They'll use it just like they did with the Star Trek MMO.
Well, but this is also one of the original designers, too, maybe, so...
Just like the Star Trek MMO. Which, yeah. I swear to God they're recycling screenshots from that, by the way, to release. A couple of times
They
I've
probably added something. They probably added like a lens flare or
I
something.
don't. I'd
They
look
ran-
at.
ran
I've
it
looked
through
at a couple of
Photoshop.
them. Like, I swear to God, I've seen this screenshot before.
Yeah.
It
But,
takes effort to make space not look boring.
I guess.
I think that was always one of the amazing things about Eve, is that the screenshots actually looked far more exciting than the game itself was.
Well, yeah.
Maybe they just need a rainbow that fires or a unicorn
Yeah.
that fires
fires
rainbows.
rainbows out his ass.
Well, a rainbow that fires
Yeah.
unicorns would be kind of interesting too.
No. Not
No?
really.
Okay.
Unless it's that like wave from what was it, Star Trek 7 or 8?
Oh yes.
Third
The
generation.
time wave.
The Nexus.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Could be a rainbow nexus.
Remind me again why I watched that movie.
I don't know.
Mm.
I saw
So
there's
that
a
you could
really
be modern.
Oh.
there's a really grainy bootleg original ending to that movie that's on YouTube.
Huh.
That's actually good.
Huh,
Mm.
It was like an early cut or something.
Yeah, it's like really. It must have been shown at a convention or something because it was obviously on VHS and
Huh.
like recorded from something that wasn't too good, but it's actually pretty interesting. Kirk blows. Picard shoots the shit out of Malcolm McDowell.
Wow.
Pretty cool.
Awesome.
It's better than the shit ass ending that it was like, look, he's coming, and what are we gonna do? And Picard's like, I'm gonna kill the fuck out of this guy. And just shoots him.
All I remember is building a cairn.
Yeah, that's in it too. But like how he dies, the whole falling off the bridge and all that shit doesn't happen.
Not there.
Worst way to die. Just
Yep.
falling off a bridge.
Yep.
That sucks.
It was so far along that all the CG is in it.
Mm.
Huh.
Yeah.
So they must have changed that fairly late then.
Yeah, it went through all the post stuff.
All right. So next up, we're going to do what we did the last podcast, which is care or don't care. Which I don't know why we're doing this, but
Okay.
uh,
So I'll read
wasn't it
some
your
bonus
idea?
news items then.
yeah, John will read the bonus news items. We care or don't care, and he gets points that he can use toward possibly a brand new car or something behind the curtain.
Awesome.
Hey, you have a higher chance if you actually change your gas after the first one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is still weird.
It's a very
man, it
weird
hurts
Oh,
math
my
effect.
the Monty Hall paradox.
Yeah, where like you have a higher chance if you change your gas after the
Yeah,
first one.
it's like
Always
it's like
switch.
66%.
Yeah, it's always
33.
switch, and it's statistically, if you switch, you have a higher. It doesn't matter what your original one was.
Yeah. Well, you get
It's
a
bizarre.
50-50 chance instead of a 1
Yeah.
in 3.
Yeah, it's like weird, spooky math.
Yeah.
All right.
Anyway. So Fallout, massively multiplayer online role-playing game.
Curious.
I thought that they actually kind of canceled that.
Well, that's what the news item's about.
Oh, where is that? Where's
Interplay was working on it, and as part of Interplay selling the rights to Bethesda, Interplay kept the rights for doing a massively multiplayer
I see.
game. but there was a requirement in there that they actually start fucking working on it.
Aha.
Ah, is
Which
that how games
apparently
are
that
made?
clause has tripped them up of late.
Well, they are a computer PC gaming studio, and
So
know.
Bethesda might be taking the rights back to that. So it'd be interesting to see what Interplay did, but mainly it's
Or
hard to get too
didn't
worked
do.
up over it because, man, I can't see Interplay having the money to tie their shoes,
well, yeah.
much less make a good massively multiplayer role-playing game.
They should make. Didn't they make?
Earthworm Jim, yes, they did.
They made Descent, didn't they?
Interplay also did Clay
Did they actually
Fighter.
make it, or they just publish it?
I don't know.
Didn't they also do Clay Fighter?
Yes, they did. That was when Dave Perry was floating around at Interplay at the time. I think he also did MDK and Killer.
Oh man, MDK.
What
yeah.
was it? Was it Killer
Wait.
9? Not Killer 9. Wild. It was like Wild, 9.
Yeah, I've got a copy of that.
I think Volition did the Free Space Descents,
Yes.
but I don't remember who did the original Descents.
Don't remember either.
Anyways,
All right.
It's a long time since they made one.
I don't know.
But-
MMORPG
Unfortunately.
for Fallout.
Well, might be going back to Bethesda and then see what happens with that.
so either
Um,
way, it's still like 2 or 3 years out.
Right. So, control scheme for SingStar.
Yeah.
And
They're going to add voice recognition.
Yeah.
well, isn't that what
Which-
SingStar is? It's just
What
Try to-
else? You don't need a controller to like select your songs and shit.
Why don't
Which
they just put
makes
the
a lot of
controller on
sense.
the thing, like
so you
on a
can be
microphone.
like you could be
Yes,
like
they thought about doing
like
that,
Rock
but
Band?
those things are expensive.
so
but
for
voice recognition, that's cheap.
And God forbid they want you to buy more items for their songs.
So basically, they're going to be like,
things.
so you can talk into the mic and go, "I want to sing blah 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 song," and you'll play it.
I assume that's the plan.
Who plays
Um,
SingStar?
Europe.
Well, then I guess we don't care, do we?
Pretty much all of Europe too, which
I
is
don't
kind
get-
of crazy.
man.
Well, it's because they don't really. They get shafted on the whole Rock Band and Guitar Hero thing.
Well,
so-
yeah. Well,
they
it's,
gotta find something to make their own.
they play that in between soccer games.
No, I mean they get shafted big times on it.
Oh,
They have to pay twice as much. It's kind of
And they're
brutal.
always the last one to get it.
Yeah. It's kind of like,
Oh,
gee, I
think
wonder
even
why Rock
Australia
Band
got
and
it
Guitar
before
Hero
they
don't
did.
do well in Europe. Well, let me tell you, I got a list.
yeah.
I think the other bit about it for SingStar is you don't actually have to use their microphone. You can use any PlayStation mic with
Yeah, I
it.
think it was like a USB mic.
Yeah.
Is that still the case for Rock Band? Do you have to use its own microphone, or do you have to use? can
You have to
anything?
use Rock Band's mic, as far as I
Mm.
know.
But it's got the controller thing on it. So
Okay.
Makes it a lot easier on the new ones.
Yeah, because you have to actually use a USB mic and not one of the plugs into
Okay.
controllers mics.
Well, the technology part of this is interesting, but I could care less about SingStar.
right. So is that half a point?
Yeah. Judges.
They give it to them.
All right.
So Braid's getting released on PC.
who's gonna play that game on PC?
That's a
don't-
good question.
Yeah.
There's a platformer and all that.
Yeah.
Who plays platformers on PCs?
Nobody.
People who have MAME on their PC
Well, only people that play shareware and yeah.
and Flash games.
So nobody.
It's not something you buy on that. That's for sure.
Yeah, not a huge market for platformers on the PC.
Unless they're gonna try and push it through maybe Windows Live.
No, it's coming through Greenhouse, that Penny Arcade digital distribution thing. So I
Weird.
don't think it's going to be a Windows Live game.
Well, at least they don't have to pay for boxes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That saves a lot of money up front, so they can charge less.
And
The
Uh,
bonus news for it is that it's going to come with a level editor.
Ah.
Which, for a game that's all about epic level design, doesn't seem like a good plan. Just going to
Yeah.
get Super Mario Brothers.
Yeah. You're gonna get the guy reproducing all of Super Mario Brothers with Braid.
Yep.
and you can upload your own graphics to it.
Well, I assume it's a full editor.
Yeah.
I mean,
So-
it sounds like it's the editor he used to make the game.
Yeah. So
Yes, it's built into the game.
penises.
Yep.
Yes.
Cocks everywhere.
Little Big Planet with time mechanics. Awesome. And no mechanism for sharing levels, really.
And cocks,
Cocks. Tons of cocks.
apparently.
But
you
time
can move
travel
back and forward in
cocks.
time. I'm
I
not
don't
sure.
like the cock, but this chubby motherfucker,
Yeah.
he loves the cock.
Right, next then. Target is planning to give money to people who pre-order games.
Not a new thing, but
Well, just giving you dollars. You don't pay them to pre-order. Instead, they give you money for pre-ordering.
I think they're doing it wrong. I
think
think
somebody's
the
missed a
way it's
step in
supposed to be
the-
done is we give them money and then we can
Target?
yeah.
We need to have a talk.
So what they're planning
all right.
to do
Who gave the publicity to the little dog?
What, it's not opposite day? Fuck.
is you pay $1 to get the little pre-order card.
Okay.
And then as long as you come back and actually buy the game within the first 7 days of release, they give you a $5 gift card for it.
Oh,
I saw that in the
Yeah,
ad
but
this
is-
weekend. I wasn't
is
really
the
paying
is
attention.
the price
to it,
of the
though.
game going to be $5 more than the MSRP?
Nope, standard MSRP.
Huh.
Because that's
They're
what Target
just
sells
giving you
shit
a
at.
gift card for buying it and pre-ordering it.
Basically, you get $4 off. Because
Yeah.
you paid $1 for the thing, and then you get a $5 gift card when you buy it.
And your dollar's just covering the card itself.
Probably.
Cool. And then you can buy whatever you can buy for $5 at a Target, which
well,
is
frick, Target's one of the few places that still sells PC games.
Yeah.
There you go.
So.
Fact.
They sell food, too.
Yeah, I got like 6 of those. I really need to use them.
And it's
I
not the
took it with
only,
me to use it the other day. I still forgot when I was.
Damn it!
I got out of my car. I'm like, oh crap!
I
I could have
I
had
did-
toilet paper for a month.
I needed some cash one time, and I went to the grocery store to buy a thing of milk to break a 20, and I paid for it with my check card, and then I got out of the car. I'm like, fuck! I was like on autopilot for the whole thing, and then came out. I'm like,
I feel like you got ripped off. You're like,
"Ah,
damn it! I gotta go buy more milk. Who's gonna drink all this milk?
It's sad you go into Steve's refrigerator now. There's like a crate of milk.
yeah,
You go
that's
see
all it
Steve
is.
out the side of the corn mill tonight. Hey, you want to buy some milk?
Buy some milk?
Buck a gallon.
Oh, Jesus.
Come on, Daddy needs to go to 7-Eleven. Come on, buy some milk.
We'll fix Adobe for milk.
Yep.
All right.
So this seems like an awesome plan. I mean, the whole having to reserve shit at GameStop and not actually having anything in stock is pretty much what makes GameStop suck.
I think this is like a test market run by Target to see if they can pull enough people.
Well,
This
yeah,
seems
it's-
like a way better plan than used game sales.
But I've
Well,
never
hell
found
yeah,
Target
you're
to
getting
have.
paid to come in and shop.
I've never
I'm all
known
for
Target
that.
to have the selection though.
They will if you pre-order it,
Yeah.
because they'll
They've
know how
got the
many you
new
want.
games. I
Yeah.
mean, they're
Target
not going
does
to have
have
the
a-
niche stuff, but
Target does tend to not have a very deep catalog, but they've got the new stuff usually.
yeah.
They
And
have
I
a
mean, it's not like
semi-deep.
GameStop has the obscure stuff either.
Well,
If you don't pre-order that shit, they don't bother carrying it.
well, I mean, like, yeah, they don't really keep the stuff behind like the.
That's
back
why every time you
store
call them,
stuff.
like, thanks for calling GameStop. What would you like to pre-order today?
Like,
We'd really like you to pre-order something. What can we
I'm
do
calling-
for you? Pre-order.
I'm calling you to get a game, not to get a game in a month.
I want the game
Back
now.
when there was an EB across the street from me, so
Yeah.
one, I liked them,
Yeah.
and two, they were nearby. I mean, half the shit I'd pre-order, that was the copy they got.
Yeah.
Like, oh, okay then.
Yeah.
At
pretty
least
much.
you got it.
Yeah, well, welcome to pre-order where you can pre-order stuff. How can I pre-order you? Wait, what?
It's true too, because it's funny. Some games, I don't know what their idea is for how much they stock of what game, but I went in to buy somebody a copy of The World Ends With You, and they only carry one copy, and as soon as that goes out, they order another one from the warehouse. So they're always out of it for a couple of days if they sell it. But then
There- EB
yeah.
did that a lot.
Yeah.
And the worst was like EB didn't have a live reorder thing, so the orders only went in at night. So there was the shipping delay day of like 2 or 3 days, plus the one day that
lag.
you waited for it to tell them that you needed another one.
And we would always pad the numbers because it's like, well, let's put 3 in and hopefully we'll get 1.
Yeah. Well, we couldn't even do that. We had to like, it took ours automatically.
as just your inventory system. So
Yeah.
when it hits 0, it might think about giving you another
Oh
one.
yeah, you had an
Yeah.
auto inventory.
Yeah. But it was like a stupid
Yeah.
auto inventory.
Yeah, we didn't have
But like
that.
it didn't know if you sold 3 last week, maybe it should send you a couple more. No, it just sold you another one.
We had that at Lowe's, but I could actually go in and tinker with it and say I want 4 to be on the auto, so that whenever it drops down to 4
Yeah.
from 0.
I
then
think
it
we've spoken
automatically-
enough about retail in this
Yeah.
podcast.
You know what the dumbest thing about the dumbest thing about EB's reordering thing is that they would send you tags on a separate tag sheet to when you got it to put on the boxes yourself. They didn't put them on they didn't put them on at the warehouse. They put them on
I
a
know they
big
might get
printout
dirty
thing.
in the way.
I know. They put them on they tossed them in one of the 5 boxes they sent you, and you had to dig for it.
No, there was one time where we got a shipment of stuff, and they actually had to ship the tags in like a little padded envelope that came like a day later.
yeah, they would FedEx them. They did that at
It's
a lot
like,
of
oh,
places.
we
I worked.
forgot.
They would FedEx you the stickers the day before a sale went on.
Yeah, it's like what are you doing at home office?
Well, they couldn't do that for us because we literally had no place to store it. So it would have just sit out on the floor anyway, just in big boxes.
So would
What's
you
in
like
this
to
box?
pre-order your retail career now?
Yeah, pretty much.
I think that was one of EB's biggest fallings. Is they got into a mall, but they always got into the smallest slots, so they had nowhere to store anything.
They did. They never had big stores. That
Talk
was
about
ridiculous.
pressure.
Well,
there's
remember
still
the store
plenty
I
of
worked
room
at
on the
was
pea-soaked floor
tiny.
in the restroom.
Yeah.
Yeah, you gotta love it when you go in to use a restroom and there's like stacks of games and they're in the bathroom.
Oh, during
Yeah.
the during the Nintendo 64 launch, it's like, yeah, you want to be careful to open the door very slowly.
Yeah. Pretty much.
something might fall.
Yeah,
on you.
and don't use the sink because we have about 5 Nintendo 64s stacked on top of it.
Well, they had to send us. They sent us ours 6 a.m. the day of, because we didn't have any place to put them. We had 80 pre-orders, and I'm like, I can't fit 83 or N64s in this store.
Yeah.
So just stand out in front and look for pre-orders.
So what you're gonna need if you want to go to the bathroom is an empty Mountain Dew bottle, and
Yeah.
you want to walk around behind the store.
Behind
There's
the
no place to
store.
go anywhere near the store.
Well, we were lucky because we were right next to the restroom, so we could always go around to the restrooms if the stock room was full. But Black Friday, and it's like, hey, we need to sell the demo unit of the Nintendo 64. Why don't you re-shrink wrap that real fast? It'll take you about 15 minutes to do an oversized package. That was always fun. All right, that's enough of that.
So we got sales figures for GTA Chinatown Wars.
So are they good or bad?
I have
You make the
no
call.
idea.
89,000.
I don't even know if that's good.
That's
or
on the DS, right?
Yeah.
On the DS, they were expecting to sell 200,000,
Well,
maybe 400.
they should have released it. They
So
should have not released it on the DS then.
They didn't hit their mark for that, but the analysts are going back and forth. Maybe it's good, maybe it's bad, because DS games generally sell for much longer.
Yeah.
But maybe this just means M-rated games don't sell on the DS.
I have no idea.
Neither do I.
Maybe
I
they
don't
should
know.
have made a Grand Theft Auto brain game.
They needed more mini games.
They added mini games.
Oh, I
Yeah.
need more.
There's
Not
the
enough, apparently.
carjacking mini games and the drug trading mini games.
How to talk to a hoe mini game.
We also got the Mad World sales figures.
The 66,000.
Yeah,
I don't know if that's
For
good or bad
that
either.
game, I think that's good.
For a Wii game.
It
For
is
that
kind of an
game,
arty
I
game.
think that's good.
It's kind of an artsy game.
It
That's-
really is kind of an
so
oddball
is this
thing.
the barometer for if M-rated games will sell on the Wii or not?
I don't know.
I don't think so because that game was so strange.
It'd be interesting to see the sales figures of No More Heroes, which is also an M-rated
Oh,
game.
shitty.
Really?
Really shitty.
Well, dude, that game wasn't very good.
Yeah, and that was also an arty game.
Yeah.
What about Killer 7?
That was on the GameCube.
Yeah. I can't think of any other mature games
you're
on the.
right.
That's why it's like, is this the barometer for M-rated games on the Wii? Because this
Well-
is the one that like everybody was pinning their hopes on for. Like, this is going to bring the hardcore game into the Wii, and
Well, honestly,
not sure.
I mean, if I didn't know
So, yeah.
anything about, okay, so there's only so many hardcore gamers that have Wii's, first of all, and then
like
You-
me.
So you
Well,
take and you look at the.
What defines hardcore though? You're sitting there
No,
saying
that's
M-rated, and that's
Well-
not
different conversation
for a
entirely,
Wii or for Nintendo. The hardcore gamer is the Zelda,
Well,
the Metroid.
Right. This is the game for whether or not you're going to be doing violent M-rated
Yes.
games like you see on other consoles.
on every other console.
Okay, but
except
that's
for
not what I
Nintendo.
say as a definition of a hardcore gamer, though. That's what I'm saying.
That's what I would.
It's games that target the core gamer audience.
Yes, and they tend to be violent.
Yeah.
Okay, the violent core audience.
Well, they tend
Well,
not
core
to be.
violent-
They
they
tend
are
not to
violent.
be puzzle game players. You know.
Unless it's
Okay.
a violent puzzle game.
Now that
Well,
we have the
yeah.
definition of.
But the thing is that you look at this game retail. Let's say I don't know anything about this game, and I go out and I look at this retail. It looks like a shitty ass game that I don't know what the hell is going on from the screenshots.
And it's all in black and white. What
Yeah,
the
it's
hell's
like,
wrong with that?
I don't even know what's going on in this game. Okay, I'm moving on to the next one. You know, I just think it's too arty.
Well, did you see the commercial that was on TV too? It didn't have its own commercial. There was a commercial for another Wii game, and at the very end of that, for the last 4 seconds of the commercial, oh, and also out right now is Mad World, also on the Nintendo. Pfft, commercial's over. It had nothing for publicity on TV. It just got a little end piece to say, oh, and by the way, this game is also out.
Well, because I
People
think
are like,
that's
"What
the
the
big
hell is
question
that?"
is nobody knows whether or not it's a good idea to do an M-rated game on the Wii.
And
It's
they
like,
obviously
Well,
don't know how to
I
advertise
think
it
what it
either.
is that the M-rated games that are coming out are like really artistic, really oddball type stuff. They
oh,
haven't
that's
done.
not true. I mean, what,
Mad
our
World?
other poster child we're waiting for now is Conduit.
Well,
Just like, let's do an FPS.
Well, I mean, we won't know until it actually comes out, but still. I mean, the games that have been coming out have been like real, kind of almost experimental in a way.
that
I mean,
whole
Mad
studio
World.
was doing
what
that
do you mean by
too.
games? I mean, it's like Mad World is like, here's your M-rated game.
Who's they're also doing what, Bayonetta?
Yeah,
Yes, that's
it's,
Platinum Games.
Okay, that's not going to be out until like the fall too, right?
Yeah, we'll see how that one ends
It's
up
got a
doing
ways
too.
to go.
That one,
That one
might
looks pretty
also be a
cool.
flop. Well, I mean, it's they're saying going to be harder than DMC. Like,
Well, we'll see. I'm hoping it's somewhere up there on like the Ninja Gaiden.
As long as it's easier than Shinobi.
Well, I mean, it's also shaping up to be a derivative Japanese action game. I mean, it
Well,
looks
and
like
the
it's got a
same
great
design.
style for it. It looks like it'll have a solid combat system, but it doesn't look like they're doing anything that hasn't already been done for the last decade.
They're sticking with what they seem to do well: Devil May Cry, Ninja Gaiden.
Well, I think there's a reason
same
why even
platform.
Japan's saying Japan is getting to be washed up for video games.
Yeah,
Like,
and maybe when they go out and make something like Mad World and they put it on the Wii instead of another console where they would have done much better.
yeah.
I don't know
It's
if
an
it would have done
experiment.
much better on a different.
Well,
Yeah.
it would have hit
system.
more of that audience. I think they're going for though on the 360.
So it
or
may
the
just be
PS3
that
for
that audience
matter.
just doesn't exist.
I don't think they
Yeah.
exist on the Wii.
Well, that's because nobody knows. That's why they did
Wow.
it.
Yeah.
It's like, well, we've sold a hojillion Wii's. Can we sell a game to them that looks like the games on the other
The
consoles?
question is it worth doing on another console now too? Would you port it over to another console?
Well, I don't know. I imagine seeing somebody porting Mad World and there being a million reviews saying, "Oh my God, my eyes."
Yeah.
You
Well,
know?
and can you port from the Wii to something else? I mean, it's
That'd be
You
rough.
definitely have to up it because
You'd
you're
have to
going from a
redo all the
480
art
to either a
assets.
1080.
and that's
or
90%
720
of
at
a
the
game
minimum.
these days.
Yeah. It wouldn't be easy. It's
mean,
not a
like-
click and recompile.
It
Yeah.
might be easier for Mad World than it would be for many other games,
Well,
but
the
I don't know
game's like
about
2
that.
hours long.
Much simpler in color, anyways,
Yeah.
or lack thereof. Let's
uh,
say we got black, white, and red.
Well, there's yellow in the game too.
Ooh.
That's racist.
so it'll be interesting to see if this, if we actually get another M-rated game now. I mean, it takes what 3 years, I think, to actually, get a game from concept to actually being out. So a bit of a lead time in deciding whether
Well,
or not
there's
to
what
do
Red
this shit.
Steel 2. Is that supposed to be M-rated?
It'll be
I'll be amazed
interesting
if
to
it
see
comes
if it was
out.
or not.
I think you just want people to buy the game, and I don't think that really track record on that particular title is not so hot.
Yeah.
They're praying that Wii Motion Plus helps.
Yeah.
All right. What else do we have?
So Patapon 2.
Pedophile
This
2?
I'm pretty
What?
curious
Digital
about.
only.
I'll be buying a copy of it, but I'm kind of curious to see how it's going to work because,
Yeah,
right
speaking
now-
of experiments,
God, right now getting on home and downloading shit is so god awful hard. I don't even like to do it. I don't even
Yeah.
want to go look for games,
The whole downloading
It's
system
so
for the PS3 is
back-ass
really
words.
retarded.
and it's so misguided. It's like you think you've gone to download something, but no, you just put it in a basket, and then you go to download it, and then it asks you like 3 questions: Are you sure? Are you sure? Are you sure? And then it takes odd amounts of money. It's not always even, and it leaves pennies and stuff.
well, so how do
It's
you
like-
even do this with a PSP? Because I mean, you don't need a PS3, right?
You don't, but it's easier if you have a PS3, supposedly.
Okay.
That's what they're saying. I don't know. I've downloaded, before I had my PS3, I was downloading games just connected to a USB on my PC, though, too. So
Okay.
I don't really know it's going to be any
Oh, so
harder
you
or
like
better.
buy it on your PC and then hook the PSP up to it? Can you just buy
No,
it from the PSP?
Well, when I did, I had the PSP hooked up because it had to be on to register that the PSP was connected to it, and then I was
Oh.
able to go on and download to it because it downloads directly to the PSP. It doesn't. There's no in between that you download.
So it just
to.
downloads it to the
Huh.
SD
You
card.
can't do it like over Wi-Fi or something. And buy
I
it,
don't
or-
know. They may have changed it now where you can do it through Wi-Fi, but I don't know if they would want you to do that because if anything goes wrong with the connection, then
I know the new PSP update is supposed to have more PlayStation Store stuff to it. And can't you re-download stuff that you've bought?
I don't know. I've never had to yet, but it just
Oh.
seems really awkward the way you have to go in and download stuff now, and it takes for god awful ever to get it.
That does seem to be the general consensus with home is that
It's just so.
somebody.
I
needed
think
to
it was
figure
so
out
not planned for.
Ha.
Is what I'm getting the
Well-
feeling because they're not all these key things are just missing when you go in to do stuff. It's not simple at all.
What we've learned this generation is Sony does hardware and Microsoft does software.
Yeah.
And they really need to get together and make a decent console.
Or at least sit down and have a talk with each other. So what are you doing with consoles?
They need to license some developers on one side. They'll do like a trade. They'll do a team trade. Okay, I'll give you Hikaru Morimoto for Bill Smith. All right, come here.
But so the other weird thing about this is Patapon 2 is digital only, but you'll be able to buy a box, which will then give you a long code to enter in to go through this long digital ordering process.
I think this
That's
is a
great.
big part of what Sony's trying to do because there's a lot of rumors out there right now that the PS3 is going to be UMD-less. It's not going to have
Or the PSP 2.
well, PSP 2, yeah. Well, I'm thinking 4 now, yeah. Because we're in the 3000, so the 4th. So yeah, I guess the PSP 2, the new iteration is going to be totally without disc. So I think they're doing this as a test to see how well it goes, and if this goes well, then hell, they're not even going to need to sell cases anymore. They can just sell you a card or something or a code, and then you
Well.
can use that, and that'll just cut out the middleman of having to send cases that you go buy for that matter. Now you just walk in and buy a postcard or a gift card or something and be able to go home and
Or
download
you
it.
just go directly online and buy it there. and
Yeah, cut the
avoid all
middleman
the
and
rest of this
retailer out altogether.
Wow, that's got to be a loss prevention nightmare.
For
For if your games can now be obtained by just well, let's see, I'd like some licorice and some beef jerky, and hey, what's that? Grab 7 games, put them in my pocket.
well, on the other hand, though, it'll be at least a bit trickier to actually steal them and get away with it because, well, we had 10 in the stack that we got in inventory. They were these 10.
Depends on if the clerk is going to bother reporting it or not. Hey,
Well-
they're just little cards.
Oh.
It's not like it's a physical object that got stolen.
I'm
Although
sure
for
they're
these,
still
they're
going to go
actually
through like
going
a
to
gift
be-
card kind of thing where you have to go purchase it and then it gets activated somehow at the
Yeah.
register.
Well,
and-
if they're
and these
smart.
These at least are actually
This is
going to be
Sony
in a
we're
PSP
talking
thing.
about here.
These are actually going to be in a PSP case. And
Well.
be sold alongside all the other PSP
Yeah.
stuff.
Well, I mean,
It's
for that, like, the
Sony,
next
so
time around.
they're going to
Right.
make something proprietary that each retailer has to buy from them to
Yeah.
activate it.
Yeah, well, that
Well,
they'll
the-
have 5
Well,
different versions
And actually,
of.
they've already totally
And
solved
12
that
different
problem.
versions of the
It's because
firmware.
when you sell the cards, they have to be activated at the register.
Well,
before
this is
they're
what I
Yeah,
was
that's what I
telling
was
you.
just saying.
If
It's
they
like
do
a
that,
gift card, they have
if
to
they're
activate it.
smart, but we're talking about Sony now. So
Alright.
maybe it'll end up that way and maybe not.
Well, and the goal is really to just cut out retail entirely.
Well,
If you're saving all that money and all the shit you're shipping with boxes as it is.
Yeah, maybe you go around to having, PlayStation points cards that you send out to the retailers, but really what they're trying to do is get rid of the brick and mortar experience altogether and just lease you your games, which kind of blows.
Kind of.
Yeah, because then you
There's
can't
a certain
sell them.
nostalgia. Well, yeah, there's that for sure. So that the resale, just you kill that. But there's
Yeah.
also a certain nostalgia about having a game case for each game.
I
It's not
still
even
like-
nostalgia, practicality. You
Yeah.
can still fucking play it after
Yeah.
the servers go down.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm still a big fan of the physical objects. So,
But an awful lot of people I know, every game they've ever bought, they've traded back in.
well, not me.
There's something to be said too for the Steam experience too, where you're able to just go on and download your game fully and have your copy online, and you're registered with them. So if something goes wrong, well, you just download it again. I mean, that's kind of there's a real nice convenience about that for sure.
But then again,
Plus it
that's
gets
as long as
auto-updated.
Steam exists.
Yeah.
No.
10
Well-
years down the road, if they don't exist anymore, you're kind of fucked.
If they keep doing well, they exist. So that's also
Well,
self.
Pick the right platform, then.
Yeah, but there's a lot of games that come out that are put out by companies. The game is good, but the company's not run well.
Well,
So if the company goes away and now you're stuck with a good game that you can't use anymore. Yeah. So
Well, that's kind of being taken out of play though with Steam because they're getting these good games, they're making it downloadable through the system, and then they're actually working it through the system so that you get automatically updated for games right away. You get the first of everything.
And
So
just-
it's
Yeah, but
as
what
long as
happens-
Steam sticks around.
yeah,
That's
but
what I'm saying though. If they get enough good companies that are selling to them and they've got enough good games coming in on a constant, which they do right now, it's
Well-
going to keep itself going anyways. So it's
But-
kind of self.
But if
I know what you're
Steam,
saying,
if somebody
but-
buys Steam and decides, okay, I don't want to do Steam anymore, it doesn't matter how good the games were. You're screwed. You never get to play any of your games ever again.
Well, that's why you develop it into more than just a game center. You get your friends in there, and you integrate other things into
Well,
it.
so
and you make
take
it so
Greenhouse,
popular.
for example. If you want to play the Penny Arcade games on your PC, you're buying it through Greenhouse. Who knows what the fuck that's going to be like in 5 years, if
Yeah.
they're still going to be there or not. And so it's like if you want to play that game, which good game, that's the risk you take.
Yeah. I
So-
think Steam has a better likelihood, I'm going to say, up front, just because they've got a wider array.
Yeah, but
They've pulled a
everything
lot of
isn't
games
on
in there.
Steam.
Well, not
No,
only
it's
is
not, but
everything
it goes
not on,
through it, though. So it kind of makes it a necessity to have. So hopefully they do stick around because they do provide a good service, I think.
well, but that's the point is that you don't know that they're going to stick around.
you don't, but I hope that they do.
Well,
And
no,
yeah,
I also
everybody hopes that they
explicitly
do.
didn't
but-
play Half-Life 2 because of Steam.
Yeah.
That prevented me from doing so. Because I did not have internet access at home, just wasn't paying for it when Half-Life 2 came out.
that was a weird thing. Yeah.
I
I
couldn't
mean,
play it.
everybody wants these businesses to succeed, but there's no guarantee that they're going to. And so you could, in 3 years, let's say something happens to Steam, the whole management team's been embezzling. Who knows? We'll
It's
make
it's
something.
more,
if
it's
they've
more
all been
likely than you
embellishing-
think.
They've all been embezzling. The thing goes into bankruptcy. Whoever ends up buying all the assets for it doesn't put out the DRM release thing for it. You never get to play Half-Life 2 again that you bought.
Instead,
to
they
be
just
honest with you, in
re-release it
10
on a
years,
different
I'm
platform.
probably not going to care about Half-Life 2 because the
No, but it'd be
games
in-
that are going to be out then are probably going to be so much better.
But it could be in 3 years.
Because there aren't any 10-year-old games that you still want to play.
They're on consoles, yes. On PCs, not as much anymore.
Well,
I
but
mean, there's a
PCs
lot
But
of
the
stuff.
basically
console
turned
stuff is
console.
moving to the same model too. I mean, this is the first step in moving towards that as being
Yeah, but we'll
a
always have the
wholesale model.
consoles. It's like keeping an old 486 around just to play certain PC
Well, except
games. How
that's-
many people do that? Nobody
But-
really cares about that anymore.
Well,
'cause
but the
most
Right
of those
now,
games are,
the Microsoft servers go down. You get to keep playing your XBLA games for as long as your one console survives.
Yeah, and that's the problem is say you got there's a million Xbox around, right? But if I have I got Assassin's Creed there, right? My hard drive goes away and my Xbox 360 goes away. I can still pop in Assassin's Creed and I can start over from the beginning. If I download a game and in 3 years or so it could be a great game or whatever, if I download a game and I don't have the physical media for it and they no longer offer it and Xbox Live doesn't in the current
That's a lot
incarnation
of ifs,
exist
though.
anymore. No, that's where they want it to go.
yeah.
That's the plan of where this is all going. Getting rid of the physical media so that you basically have to rebuy the game.
And it's not like this is unheard of.
Nintendo's been doing
We've
it for
seen
years.
a lot of the a lot of the music DRM services go belly up.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's real customers put real money into that, bought all that shit, and it just evaporated on them.
Yeah.
Well, when Zune
Well, you
fails,
wonder
we'll
why
see
some-
how that works out.
Well, you wonder why so many people pirate music because
Hey, at least when you
Yes.
pirate it, it's yours forever.
Well, and that's the point. That's why
Yeah.
people pirate PC games. Because
It's a better experience.
It's a better. It's like who was that? What was that game that just the DRM got all screwed up on like last month?
BioShock. Well, no, it was a year ago.
What was it?
Spore.
Well, there was the
Oh.
Gears of War bit where
Yeah, the Gears of
DRM
War
just,
one.
like,
Yeah, where the clock
expired
went
3
out on
years
it.
later.
Yeah, if you had pirated that game, you didn't have that problem. You know?
Yeah.
It's like,
Something to be
why
said
are
for
people
pirating.
pirating things even though we DRM them? Well, it's because you're DRMing them and they have less problems than when you buy them.
Yeah.
All right, so
I
let's
don't
go
know.
to
This whole I'm really nervous about this whole DRM thing. It took me a long time to get on board with buying shit off XBLA. And
Still don't kind of do that. The whole songs thing really with Rock Band. Why I don't buy songs? It's because I'm buying something that I've never seen. I'm spending money for something that can easily go away. You know what I mean?
All right, so let's go to the next news item here.
so Stranglehold might be a movie.
Maybe.
What?
There-
Yeah, I think it'd be
It was
pretty
a hell
good
of a
idea.
cool game, so hopefully.
But
Well,
will it be a
except-
hell of a cool movie?
Except Wu isn't going to direct it, and Chow Yun Fat isn't going to be in it.
Oh well, never
I
mind.
predict
Fail.
a flop.
Never mind.
They can get the people to do the Dragon Ball movie.
This is like a whiplash from care to don't care.
Yes, isn't it though?
It's like, oh, that'd be really. Oh.
Did you watch that, by the way, the Dragon Ball movie?
Yes.
Oh.
I can't feel bad about it. I mean, I only spent $7 on it. So
Yeah, but still, that's
Wasn't
$7 you
horrible.
could have spent on a Snickers bar.
must be one
on
hell of
more
a
than
big
one
Snickers
bar.
Yeah.
That better be one hell of a
On
Snickers bar.
several Snicker bars, as a matter of fact.
Yeah, you can go to Costco, probably get like a 10-pack of them for that.
Or you could get one $7 Snicker bar. Like
This will last me 2 months.
It's the size of a sub sandwich.
Losing teeth on it.
And how bad was the movie?
You know, it wasn't as bad as I thought it was gonna be. I was really aiming low, so I didn't feel horrible about it, but I didn't feel great either.
Isn't it under 20% on Rotten Tomatoes?
I don't know.
I
but
think
I
it was like
believe it.
17 last time I
Bakadan said
saw
it was better than Mortal Kombat Annihilation.
And he
That's not
really liked
saying
that.
much.
He really liked that movie.
But was it better than the Mario movie?
My quote was Kennedy was sitting next to me, and I looked over and I said, "Man, this is going to be the tank girl of this generation." Because that's really how it came off in the beginning, as it had that feel to it, that corny.
But Tank Girl was awesome.
Yeah.
The opinions of John do not necessarily reflect the views of Diehard Gamer.
I
like
will
the
admit,
Sports
Tank Girl
Association.
had some great comedy in it. Not as good as the comic book, but pretty
No one
funny.
the only reason that people watched Tank Girl was because hot chick. That's all. The only reason they watched.
I
it.
would
I would
call
like-
Lori Petty hot.
I would
but-
point out that John's opinion is a minority opinion, even amongst Tank Girl fans.
You
Tank
probably
Girl
like
was
Judge
B-movie
Dredd too, you
gold.
commie.
It was just funny seeing the live action trying to make a cartoon into reality.
Well,
I mean,
I'd never
that
read the
jump
comic
was
for
so
Tank Girl
funny.
either. So
Oh,
it was
and
just like random bizarreness.
mastering the techniques of airbending, and all I'm thinking about is that stupid cartoon.
Avatar?
Avatar, yeah. I'm like, oh
Is
god.
James Cameron still planning on doing an Avatar movie, or
As far
was
as I
it
know.
M.
I
Night
think they just did
Shyamalan,
one.
or- No, they haven't.
Well, yeah.
Basically, what it was.
All right, so let's move on to our last thing here.
I
What
think
is
they
this?
still are, because the last time I remember there was a lot of war garble about how there weren't any Chinese people in the movie.
Oh, well.
So,
But there was.
in the Avatar movie.
Oh, okay.
But I also saw some war garble about they're redoing Jason the Argonauts, and they were complaining that there was only white people in it.
I will say one thing
Mm.
about
It's like,
Dragon
yes,
Ball.
the extensive minority population of Olympus.
We'll say one thing about Dragon Ball. Chow Yun Fat was hilarious. He really was funny.
As Master Roshi,
Yeah, he was perfect for the part. But
was he like lecherous, trying to look at women's panties and stuff?
partially, I wish he'd been more lecherous actually, because he didn't fit the part completely in that respect. But he was still very funny about it.
Wasn't it like, G-rated or something?
Yeah, it was pretty.
Did it make it to PG in the actual canonical official rating?
I don't think so.
As was a
It's
G
like- I
movie.
think it's like
I think it was.
Oh,
It was
that's
really
kind of
cheesy.
unfortunate.
It's got to be like what, PG-13? Because they were punching people, right? Doesn't that get you to PG-13?
No.
these days?
No, that doesn't even get you the PG. What are you talking about?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Damn.
That,
Come on, all the fight scenes in March of the Penguins, it was still rated G.
Well, final news item. Introversion, best developer ever, apparently has finished a DS port of DEF CON and now needs a publisher for it.
The
How's that gonna
screenshots of
work?
it looked pretty cool too. It
Well,
actually
I
looks
don't
like it would
know
be
that
fun
those
to
are
play.
actually the real screenshots.
Oh,
I think
okay.
those might have just been DEF CON shots that they photoshopped
screen-
onto it. Yes.
I'd say if that's the case. It looks really good on the system.
Well, because DEF CON looks great, and it'll translate well, and it's a perfect
It's
kind
gotta
of
be easy to do for
light
the
war
DS
game.
too.
I mean, it's a war game you can play in 20 minutes.
They literally had to dumb it down for the DS, I'm sure, in respect to
I doubt it.
visuals. So it
I don't-
probably
I
looks
don't
really
think
good on
so.
there.
They just need a good navigation system. They need some kind of pan and zoom that would work for it. But otherwise, the interface is, click unit, click destination.
Yeah,
That's it.
And you do have the stylus.
And I bet this is the kind of game that you'd like, Steve.
maybe.
Because
I
you
don't
really
think I've
got
played my
into,
PC one yet.
what was that, the light 4X game?
Light 4X.
The space strategy one that was, you were playing for a long time. I think, wasn't it from Stardock?
Oh,
Sins of a Solar
Sins of
Empire.
a Solar Empire.
Yeah. So I
that
mean,
was like an RTS in space.
yeah, but I mean, it was kind of, it like stripped all the complicated bits out and just left the core of the experience, right?
Are you gonna check out the expansion for
kinda.
that?
Probably not.
Yeah.
Matt was playing it. He liked it.
Yeah, he got really into Eve though too.
Well, he was into Sins a lot more than I was, but he's got a lot more time than I do. So
Yeah.
no, but he said there's the thing. I think if I recall correctly, the thing he said he liked most about the expansion for that was there's a lot of new game starting options that make
Oh.
it less tedious at the start game.
Oh yeah. They kind of do that for like Supreme Commander too. They allow you to start up with already pre-made stuff, so you're killing that 10 minutes that you'd just be sitting there waiting for stuff to build.
Well, yeah,
anyways.
it's like the first 10 minutes where you're always making a capital ship factory. You're
Yeah.
always making, 3 of these
It's just
research
redundancy.
things. and,
Yeah.
All right.
And that game's already 3 hours minimum for some.
Jesus Christ, that was the problem with that game. It got me stopping from it. You don't get the full experience with a really short game, but the next step up is many
Plus
hours
5
for
hours.
a game.
Yeah. well, you
Bummer.
got 2 hours for
Yeah.
a mini experience or
And-
10 for the full.
Yeah, and then for a basic full experience, and then and that's only for 5-6 planets. So if you would play there are maps that recreate all these sci-fi galaxies
Babylon
basically
5 or Star
that have
Wars.
350 planets. I'm like, you would never in your lifetime finish this game. You can't build enough units to take over this galaxy.
And then if you do, you can't keep track of all. of them.
Well, not
There's
only
no
that,
way you would ever keep track of everything.
one of the big problems that I had with Sins is the end game is very anticlimactic.
Yeah.
You basically get bupkiss when you win. And it's like, oh, that was it? Well,
Well, you have
shit,
to-
I'm not playing this game again.
Well, you have to buy the expansions.
No, I mean, you there's no storyline for this game. And so you get to the
plot
end
kinda-
and
Well, I mean, what do you expect with no storyline?
some sort of triumphant ending, like some sort
Well,
of CG thing that
it
shows
would-
my
It could have been
civilization.
corny. Hell,
killing
CNC
out-
for that matter.
But literally, when you end the game, you get a better, more interesting ending when you lose than when you win. Like you get to see these great little still shots of your civilization being enslaved and stuff. If
Huh.
you win, you kill everybody, and you get a bunch of stats about how good you were.
Bummer.
Yeah, I'm like, huh. Well, I guess I'm not going to play this anymore.
I guess that's what Master of Orion 2 really tried to add.
A lot of RTSs that way. Come to think of it, you just get the stats at the end of how well you did. There's no
Yeah.
end piece to it, but
Well,
it doesn't harm Company of Heroes or Supreme Commander. Though.
Well, but in those games, there's actually a campaign mode
yeah,
that has a
there are
story. There's
campaigns,
no campaign mode in
Yeah, you're right. There's
Sins.
nothing that
You
goes
just
between.
have a skirmish game,
Yep.
essentially.
Yeah,
You have these predefined skirmishes.
that's where the
Alright.
learning curve is harder.
Oh my god. Yeah, and by the
Yeah.
way, don't pick the coolest looking coolest looking race because you've inadvertently bought the most difficult race to actually start with. They're really awesome in the end game, but starting up, they get their asses kicked a lot. So
to end on this, I guess we can quickly go over what we've been playing.
I don't know.
'cause
We're
I don't
at
have
like
anything
a minute
else.
20 now here for the podcast. everybody.
I finally bought Fallout 3 and just started that, so I'm enjoying the game so far. It's not as brown as I thought it was going to be.
Turn
Less
your TV
brown.
down.
Awesome.
Well, that's always a plus. Metal Gear Solid 4 is pretty fucking brown.
Well, yeah,
it's
but you
very
had the
brown.
camouflage in that game.
I was
Yeah, but you
expect my-
camouflage and you're brown.
For some reason, I expect my Metal Gear Solid games to be shades of blue.
Yeah,
No,
much
it's-
more cyberpunky. techie type
no,
of-
the very first levels, very brown. It's like you're in the middle of fucking
It's like you're playing
Brown Town.
Full Spectrum Warrior all over again.
It's like that upcoming Fallujah game
I
that
still
people are
have that
bitching
game.
about.
Man, the War Garble on that game is huge. Oh my god, the War Garble on that game is big.
6
They
days
made
in
it on
Fallujah.
Slashdot. Like, there's Slashdot
That,
talking about a
6
game.
days in Fallujah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's gonna be.
Well, and aren't they? It's like you get to play as the terrorists too for part of it.
I don't know.
I think so. So I think there's.
You get to fight a losing battle.
Yeah.
Well, then why are they playing?
Yay! I get to play I get to fight a battle
Well,
that I
think
can't possibly
it does
win.
both sides and switches back and forth and does
yeah?
stuff. So.
It's gonna be the same thing for Battle Station Pacific.
Yeah.
Well,
we'll
I
see.
thought that was where you get to play either campaign.
Yeah, but you can win as either side though.
Right.
Supposedly, you can win as the Japanese, so they give you that option. And
Well,
makes it
the
possibility,
Japanese
which
had
is
a lot-
cool.
Japanese had a lot better chance of winning that particular campaign than they did in Fallujah.
Little
Well,
bit.
not the Japanese in Fallujah. They weren't nobody but
But if they'd made it there,
yeah. Hey, if they had won the Pacific campaign, eventually there would have been Japanese
Yeah.
in Fallujah.
Yeah, but they would have had giant robot technology by then.
Well, yes, it would have been Gasaraki all over.
they would have. They would have joined India. They would.
So yeah,
So, you got anything, Bri?
No, I picked up a couple of cheap Wii games. I got Battle of the Bands. I haven't gotten to play that, and Opona. Kind of curious to see how that. It looks like
well,
it
that's
plays
that
out.
Wii Kid RPG thing with
Yeah, it
throwing
looks
the
like
boomerang
from what I
thing.
was reading, it looks like it plays out kind of like Phantasy Star Universe, with like a kid side of it. So it
Mm.
looks like it might be kind of fun. I'm gonna try it out, but I got it for like $7.99 at Micro Center.
Sounds like
so-
a good price on that one.
The only thing I spent time this weekend playing was my mom finally bought a Wii, so we played Wii Fit for about 2 hours, and it was actually kind of fun.
So now you're a 2 Wii household.
We are.
I think I've seen a porn film like that.
I think I saw that on
Probably.
Benny Hill.
2 Wii household, huh?
But
Doesn't it
she
have
gets a
Ron
good kick
Jeremy
out
in
of
it?
it. She's actually planning workouts every morning or 2 mornings with it using balancing and stretch exercises. So she's really going to get into it.
And this is why Mad World did
Failed.
not sell very well.
We didn't use the Wii balance
My
board.
mom's not much for the blood. What can I say? Yeah, if you come out with a game like that where you got to use a balance board to dodge things, now you're talking about a possibility.
Oh, all right.
Yep.
So I guess that's it for the podcast.
doesn't care what we're playing.
He doesn't. He just
No.
doesn't give a fuck.
Who?
Doesn't give a fuck.
You,
You
don't.
Well,
You basically asked Brian, and then you're like, "Gonna end the
Done.
podcast."
Obviously,
Well, it's Wii
pointless
Fit.
to ask us.
I mean, did you unlock any achievements in Wii Fit?
I don't. Me?
No, he's just continuing to ask
With
Brian more
Brian.
questions.
More questions for Brian about.
Even
Wii
I was
Fit
looking at you
achievements.
guys waiting for somebody to chime in.
Uh,
I'm like,
obviously,
I-
we're done with
obvi-
this
Look at my
podcast.
Wii Fit setup over here. Did you try using the pink peeps with
no,
with that?
I don't believe that story. I told that to Bakudan. He's like, "What the fuck is he on, man? What does he come up with this shit?" That's his story of the year again, isn't it?
By the way, did you tell Bakudan that we need him as part of the podcast at some
No,
point?
I haven't had time. I haven't had a chance.
We'll tell him to get out of his cave in Fallujah. And
Well, he's
come
been
over.
pretty sick for a while. He's just getting over some crud.
Well,
Yeah, he was still sick at Starfest.
Yeah. So,
well, tell me-
anyways, what are you playing, Steve?
It doesn't matter.
still
if
play
we're done.
games?
We're-
Obviously, nobody gives a Who cares?
nobody cares what
Nothing.
we're playing.
Nothing. You want to know how close I got to playing a video game? See that Assassin's Creed box that's open? The game made it into the Xbox,
Oh,
and then I was like, oh, there's basketball on.
yeah, the Nuggets won. Yeah, Bobby.
Yeah, because Well, they were kind of winning for 3 quarters, and then the fourth quarter, they
do
gave
that
up.
shit every time.
Well, they
That's
gave,
why Carl is so pissed off at
They
the end of the game.
they gave up in
It's
the
like,
fourth quarter. It's
man.
like you won by 40 points. It's not right.
Why are you watching
Yeah.
basketball?
It was on HD, kind of an HD whore.
So you just watch
Oh,
anything as long as it's high definition.
Almost. One thing I turned off. I was looking at the on demand for Comcast, and I'm like, well, I want to sit down and watch a movie. I'm doing laundry. I watch a movie. So I've never seen Mr. and Mrs. Smith, and I thought it was an interesting premise, and so it was a free movie in HD. I started up. You know what they've done? They've taken the broadcast they did on FX, and they took out the commercials and strung it together. There's actually the fades. There's the fades between scenes where they
No
put
wonder it's
commercials
free.
in. I'm like, wow, this sucks ass. I would rather pay it than watch this. There's a
Yeah,
little
is it
FX
even
branding
widescreen?
in it.
That's
Or did
messed
they
up.
like stretch the full screen?
No, it was an HD broadcast.
Okay.
It was just the HD they had done on the
With
FX
edited.
network.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm like, this is ass.
Yeah.
That's pretty
So-
cheeseball. Hockey looks fucking awesome in HD.
Yeah.
You get a nice big, like I watch
Yeah.
hockey on my 42-inch, and I don't even care what
pretty good.
team's playing. I just watch it. I'm like,
Yeah.
wow, look how clear that is. That's awesome. It's like being at the fucking game.
Yeah, you don't need that Fox tracks anymore to keep track of the puck.
They only
it's-
did that for like 2 games because those little pucks must be way too expensive.
They did it for they did it for 1 season.
Yeah, but they only could do it at certain arenas. They couldn't do it in
Well,
every arena because you had
because
to
some of
wire
the
the
arenas are
entire
kinda
thing up to
old.
read it.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was the same with there were a couple of stadiums that same year, I think, done by Fox, football stadiums where they had 120, I think it was like 120 cameras set around on one level,
Yeah, so
and they
could
were
do
able
that
to
slow-mo
photo
pan thing.
everything in like instant frames. So it was like the Matrix in football.
Oh yeah,
Well,
they
they
could
did
do
that
the
for
bullet time.
They did that for the XFL, I think, didn't they?
No, it was for NFL, but it was
Was
only
it?
at a few stadiums, so they could only do a few games a year, and it was so costly to do that for the game and show you all these little ins and outs and show that. But you could see any play from any angle in that rim, which was really cool. You could actually watch the NFL. You could actually watch a quarterback from behind go to throw and follow the ball sideways and be behind the receiver as he's running forward. It would be actually in front of him rather by the time he caught the ball. So it was cool to watch that whole play happen that way. But I mean, in the end, it was
All
just a
right.
gimmick. So
Well, we're reaching
Didn't
our
part of
ti-
that die because they couldn't afford to upgrade it to HD.
I don't know. I know they couldn't afford to do it in every arena. It was so expensive. It was like
Yeah. So I'm going to end the podcast because we're at our time threshold.
We're yeah,
I mean,
Yeah.
that means
boredom
we're
threshold too.
Yeah.
we're at the event horizon.
We're
Yeah.
at the interesting threshold, probably. As well.
Yeah. So that is it for Diehard Gamer Radio.
Join us next week for Tech Talk.
What episode is next week?
68.
Oh, so not quite a 69.
No, but we're getting close.
Well,
The
we got
the,
some-
the, four, the
apparently
foreplay
we
will
need
be
to
happening
do a little more
next episode.
stretching.
Yeah, stretching and foreplay next episode.
Thank you for listening to Diehard Gamer Radio. You can visit our website at diehardgamerradio.com and iTunes, or you can email us at diehardgamerradio@gmail.com.